No particular upset so far. Yokozuna Masashimaru wins first bout. Kaio here coming up into the ring, lost his first bout. But he came into this basho with a bad shoulder injury, so nobody expects him to do that well. But it's very early days. 14 more bouts to fight. Each wrestler fights once a day for 15 days, and the wrestler with the most wins at the end is the one who takes 10 million yen, plus a load of other prizes, and the Emperor's Cup. First bout, Tamanoshima. 148 kilos, fights lightweight Hayateumi at 125. Well, Hayateumi, as you can see, taped up knees there, quite a skillful wrestler, ex-amateur champion, and he beats Tamanoshima there, the heavier wrestler, with a straightforward oshidashi. As you can see, he's quite a slight-looking wrestler, not a lot of muscle on him, or not a lot of fat, I should say, a fair amount of muscle. He's still 125 kilos, which is, what, 275 pounds, so quite heavy nevertheless. Now, Aogiyama, Ao-chan, as he's called amongst the sumo wrestlers, fights Chiyotenzan. They fought 4 times previously, each has won twice. And Aogiyama there, he's got that throat grip, that Nodowa attack to Chiyotenzan, was bending him over backwards there, and Chiyotenzan couldn't dislodge it. And then eventually it was out over the edge with oshidashi, the push-out technique. Next out, Jumonji. Started sumo at high school. He fights Tokitsuumi. These two have fought 4 times. Each has won twice. Jumonji 150 kilos, Tokitsuumi 132. But in sumo terms, not a lot of weight difference between the two. Slowish start there by Jumonji, and almost gets sidestepped right at the beginning. Now looking for Tokitsuumi there. Got the hands on the belt, 2 hands on the belt, and with that, he lifts him up and drives him out. So Tokitsuumi loses that one. And that was an utchari, that was a last on the brink twist and turn. Although it looked to me like, in fact, Jumonji touched down before. His body touched the top of the circle there before Tokitsuumi dropped out, but nevertheless it hasn't been challenged by any of the umpires that sit around the ring. Akinoshima fights Wakanoyama. Well, Wakanoyama came in as sumo in 1988. That's, what, 14 years ago? So he's got a lot of experience. But Akinoshima came in as sumo in 1982, which was over 20 years ago. Well, the referee gave that one to Wakanoyama. Now, this is the great, the Wolf, Chionofuji, Naono Yakata, and a judge saying that the referee got it wrong. It was Sashi Chigai, which means the referee perceived it wrongly. So Akinoshima wins this one, and he won it with the uwatenage, the overarm throw. Tochisakae, as man has had a few problems, especially his internal organs, apparently his liver, etc., giving him a bit of problems, which many of these sumo wrestlers suffer from, especially with the amount of food they eat and the amount of sake and beer and whiskey they drink as well. So Tochisakae wins that one despite his liver, and Otsukasa loses. Second loss for Otsukasa, second straight win for Tochisakae. Now Shimotori fights under his own name, hasn't got a sumo name. Normally it's chosen by the Oyakata, but in this case doesn't seem to have done so. He's fighting Daizen, veteran Daizen on the left there, 37 years old. So hard atari there, slammed by both wrestlers into each other, but it's Shimotori who nudges Daizen over the edge with yorikiri. Second straight win for Shimotori, second loss, straight loss for Daizen. Now, Kyokutenho, one of 27 Mongolians currently competing in Japanese sumo. 717 sumo wrestlers in total here fighting Toki. They fought 6 times before. Toki's won 5 of them. And there's the 6th one. So Kyokutenho overreached himself a little bit there. Toki took advantage of that very quickly and pushed him out. Oshidashi win there for Fighting Fangs. Fighting Fangs, as the name means, Toki. Now, Kotomitsuki, with that bolt in his jaw, maybe we should call him Jaws as a nickname. He's fighting Takanonami. Takanonami, the man who won 2 tournaments in the distant past in 96 and 97. Seems a long time ago. Kotomitsuki, who took a tournament in September 2001. Both been suffering a bit. Takanonami on the downward slope. Kotomitsuki plagued with injuries. Well, Kotomitsuki, you can see starting way back from the line there. That's chief umpire, one-time Chiyonofuji, telling the wrestlers to get themselves in order. So Kotomitsuki comes out hard and fast from that further position. Takanonami uses his height, takes his long legs over there, wraps his arm around, trying for the kotenage throw. That's the arm-breaking throw. He's got Kotomitsuki's right arm trapped there, and he's locked both of his arms around it. Kotomitsuki trying the leg hook, at the same time still trying to push Takanonami out the ring. Well, it's a good battle, but there it goes. It's the arm throw that does it eventually. The kotenage wins, and that drops Kotomitsuki over the edge and down. Exciting bout there by Nami. Well, that's 2 straight wins for him. He very often starts off badly, but seems to be doing all right this time. And that was the first loss for Kotomitsuki. Now we have Tamakasuga. He'll be fighting Tochinonada, the man who beat Kaio yesterday on day 1. These two have fought 9 times in the past. Tochinonada has won 7 of those head-to-heads. Both been in Makuuchi Sumo since about 96 and 97. So a lot of experience in this top division. But there it's Tochinonada who pulls Tamakasuga down. So a Hataki Komi win for Tochinonada. 2 wins for him and the first loss for Tamakasuga. Well, these bouts are over very quickly. Only takes a few seconds generally. But as the wrestlers say, each bout is like the final of a major championships. They have to win each time they come out, and it's pretty ferocious. Now, Kotonowaka, 175 kilos, fights newcomer Hokutoriki. Hokutoriki means northern fighting strength. Kotonowaka. Been in Makuuchi Sumo since 1990, so that's 12 years in this top division. This is 70th Makuuchi Basho, whereas Hokutoriki is in his 2nd, so big difference in experience, and their experience wins. As Kotonowaka uses that overarm grip to nudge Hokutoriki over the edge. So yorikiri win there for Kotonowaka. Next out, Tosanoumi, back into the top grouping of wrestlers, the Sanyaku grouping, so known as. This is after a 12 Basho absence. He's been in Makuuchi Sumo for nearly 7 years, fighting Aminishiki. Only came in to this division in the year 2000. So Aminishiki comes out, then tries a change at the, well, it looks like he stepped out there. In the middle of all that, let's see if his foot does go out. You have to be so careful. Yes, the foot slides out. Just on the outside of that ring, it's difficult to see. There's an area of loose brush sand. And if a wrestler steps out, the referees are able to look at it and tell if the sand's disturbed, whether they went out or not. Known as janome, you can see it now a little bit. That ring of sand around the outside of the circle there. Now, Mongolian Asashoryu against Takanonowaka. These two have fought 7 times. Asashoryu has won 6 of them. Well, Asashoryu's a rough, tough fighter. In his early days, he was almost like a boxer out there, using the utchari, that's the thrusting attacks to the face, neck, upper body, upper chest. Settled down a bit now, uses a bit more belt sumo. See how he fights this one. It's about 15 kilo difference between the two of them. Not a hell of a lot. Well, Asasuryu there goes for the close sumo, the oshi sumo. I should say the yotsu sumo, that's in close, looking for the belt. And nevertheless manages to hustle Takanowaka over the edge with yorikiri. So there we see him doing a different style of sumo, two main styles. The oshi sumo, which is the just using the hands to shove the other one out, slap them out or slap them down. And the belt sumo, which is known as yotsu sumo. That's both wrestlers looking to grab each other's belts. Powerhouse out next, Wakano Sato, 157 kilos of him. Generally regarded in the sumo world as extremely strong, but he tends to rely on his strength a wee bit too much, not work on his techniques. Now here fighting a very lightweight wrestler, Kaiho. Comes out, we saw him hurt his elbow in the bout yesterday, but it seems to have affected him there. Kaiho usually a little bit more tricky on these encounters, very good at dodging to the side from the charge out. But Wakano Sato contained him there, and that was first win for Wakano Sato. Now Kaiho, well, we saw him lose badly on day one against Tochinonada. He's fighting Dejima, who he's fought 23 times before, and he's won the majority of those encounters, 14 to be precise. Dejima seems to be coming back from his run of poor results. Well, he's moving forward, and he almost lost it there. Kaiho almost shrugged him off, but Kaiho wasn't really in that fight, and Dejima wins it. Even as Kaiho was trying to sidestep at the end there, right on the edge of the ring, Dejima was driving forward and managed to nudge him out. It's Takami Sakari coming up, sitting down on his cushion. Seems set to be a constant crowd pleaser, and that's the man he's going to fight. Musashi Maru, well, that'll be a tough fight for him. Now, the immediate bout is Miyabiyama in that very bright mawashi, greenish-coloured, yellowish-green mawashi. He's fighting Tochiazuma. These two have had 13 head-to-heads. In the past, Tochiazuma's won 8 of them. Miyabiyama, a rough and ready fighter. Not a lot of technique. One-time Ozeki. The other wrestlers say sometimes his body is so soft that their pushes to the body actually sink in. Well, a bit of a head-banging start there, fairly even between the two of them. It's the arm work at the top, the Tsupari. Tochiazuma there sidesteps him slightly, gets round behind and wins with Okuridashi. 2 straight wins for Tochiazuma. Let's look at this one again. So a fairly even start. Miyabiyama starts to drive him back, but then Tochiazuma, much the lighter of the two, weathers the slaps to the face. They say in sumo, when your face is slapped, stick it out even more, never retreat from the slaps. And then eventually he shoves him out with Okuridashi, spins around, spins him around, gets behind and pushes him out. And he takes some prize money as well. Now we have Chiyotenzan. Well, he had a convincing win yesterday against Kotonowaka. Came out like a rocket, and he's against Mongolian Kyokutenho. Looks a little bit uncertain. Perhaps I'm reading too much into his face. He's turned slightly away, not exactly a square start for Kyokutenho, but Chiyotenzan overwhelmed him there fairly easily. Second win for Chiyotenzan. Well, Chiyotenzan has been doing a lot of weights recently. Trains at the Yamazaki gym in Tokyo, and he's certainly put on muscle on his upper body. Now you can see crowd love all this. This is the well, he's a bit different, this sumo man, as you can see, and his movements actually kind of upset his opponents. He doesn't quite move like ordinary Rikishi. So he's not done too badly. His last basho he had 8 wins. The one before that one he had 9 wins. And this is only his 5th Makuuchi basho. So here fighting Musashi Maru, first time. Comes out fast and hard, makes no impression on the big man, who then just drives him back with a few pushes, Futsupari. And that was second win for Musashi Maru. Well, as long as Takumi Sakari stays in the Makuuchi division, I predict he'll be a constant crowd pleaser. So let's just watch that last one again. Well, he comes out fast, crashes into Musashi Maru. These frontal assaults not so good against somebody that size, needs to be a little bit more cunning. And then you see a few pushes on the throat, and over the edge he goes. Well, this is the new bow twirler. It's always the same wrestler who performs this at the end of the basho. But we'll be back shortly with day 3.